Recording. Okay, so that was what we saw in the last class. So today we'll see about flexible automation. Okay, we had seen this briefly, right? In your when we were discussing the types of automation, we saw how the different automation types, right? The levels of automation that firstly you have the rigid automation, and then you have programmable, and the third category was flexible automation. So as we had discussed that in flexible automation we are able to accommodate the product variety, right? That was the concept. That is why we are calling it flexible automation, isn't it? Isn't that what we discussed? So an application of that, okay, flexible automation, one application, if you're trying to apply it to manufacturing industry, then we call that system to be flexible manufacturing system. Okay, that's how that name came, flexible manufacturing system. You are trying to apply the concept of flexible automation in the context of manufacturing, okay, to a manufacturing facility. So flexible or manufacturing system, FMS is the short form. A flexible manufacturing system, FMS, involves setting up a manufacturing system that allows some flexibility for it to be adapted for changes in manufacturing parts or processes. Okay, that's the advantage that we get, that we can now adapt to the changes in manufacturing parts or processes. Either it could be a change in the part or it could be a change in the process. Okay, so we are able to accommodate that. The process might have a little bit change. Okay, the standard operation procedure of that process has now changed. So to be able to accommodate that, right, into the same manufacturing facility, right, you need to have this flexible manufacturing system in place. Okay, so we'll see how that achieves. Um but the concept is, it should, the system, if you want to call it a flexible manufacturing system, it should have that flexibility to accommodate the changes both in the product design and the process. Okay, changes in both parts and processes. So two types of flexibility, okay, we'll see. First one is the routing flexibility, which looks at changing the system's ability to produce parts, new parts or product types. Okay, so as I said, new parts of new product types, okay, that flexibility should be there. And another thing is machine flexibility, allows different machines to perform the same operation on a part. So it should be like, if let's say there are 10 machines in the setup, okay, if machine 1 is able, is has some maintenance issues, machine 2 or 3 or any of the other machines, okay, should be able to perform that task. Okay, different machines to perform the same operation on a part. So what will happen is, because of downtime, okay, at some other machine, you can now reroute it, right? That machine flexibility, in order to have the machine flexibility, you will see it this way: in order to have the routing flexibility, you have to have machine flexibility, right? Only if the machines are able to perform the operations, okay, then you can reroute it, right? That let's say there are no maintenance issues, but still machine 1 is busy with some other product, okay, manufacturing some other product, and there's a huge line, okay, in the storage, in that pallet, okay, many products are waiting. So you can now, and the product that you want to manufacture now, okay, that you're sending it to machine 1 is a priority product. So you can reroute this product to another machine which can perform this. So that machine flexibility, if it is there, only then can you achieve this, isn't it? Is that clear what I wanted to say? That there has to be machine flexibility, okay, for so that we can have routing flexibility also. Okay, so and then in a part manufacturing facility, an FMS may integrate two or more CNC machine tools, automated material handling, as well as tool handling solutions. So all of these will be integrated. Okay, an FMS system will have CNC machine tools, one or more, it depends. We have several categories of that, so that is why we are saying one or more are possible. So it will have machine tools, it will have automated material handling also. Okay, a system that we are calling it flexible manufacturing system should also have automated material handling, so that different parts can be fed to different machines as and when required. Okay, automated material handling as well as tool handling solutions also, so that, as we are saying, we are able to process different parts, so different parts require different tools. So tool handling capability should also be present. You should have a variety of tools available at different machines, so that as and when required you can change the tool to process a different part. Okay, is that clear? Because that's what is the concept in flexible manufacturing. Okay, and by doing so, an FMS has the flexibility to perform repeated yet varied operations or change the order of operations executed on a part using a predetermined schedule with minimal manual intervention. So with this, the FMS, with all those, that machine tools, automated material handling, the tool handling solutions, now the FMS has the flexibility to perform repeated yet varied operations, isn't it? Because we are saying that we are able to perform, we are able to uh, manufacture different designs, right? Product of different design features. So that, and also change the order of operations. So it's not like you have a set of operations. Even, as I said, if there are some changes, if there are some other parts which have come in which are of priority, you can change the order of operations, right? Executed on a part using a predetermined schedule with minimal manual intervention. So that's another benefit. The manual intervention is very less because you have completely automated it, both the material handling, the tool handling, right? And so that's why you have minimal manual intervention. Okay, benefits of FMS: ability of these systems to identify and distinguish between the different parts processed by the system allows for a quick changeover of operation instructions, one from one part to a different one during the making process, right? So to be able to identify and distinguish, that's another feature, that's another requirement that should be there. Okay, so as we'll see that in FMS systems we have this part coding also for the system to identify what part is it. Okay, the identity of that part will be identified by a part number. Okay, a part code will be there, so that the system's ability to identify and distinguish between the different parts processed by the system, right, allows for a quick changeover of operation instructions. So how can you change the operation instructions when you have identified, okay, what part is it and what priority have you set for that? So that's the benefit. And FMS in flexible manufacturing cells, FMCs. Okay, that's another concept arising out of flexible manufacturing only. That you have a flexible manufacturing cell. We discussed flexible manufacturing system. A flexible manufacturing cell, as the name suggests, cell. Okay, so you have a dedicated set of equipments. Okay, you confine them as one group. Okay, that's why you calling it a cell. Okay, so that cell is has some sort of, what do you call, we can say it has the ability to process a certain product. Okay, or a certain, let's say, uh, a certain process also. That, for example, it could be a cell of different, let's say, grinding machines. Okay, different grinding machines are there. And why am I saying different? Because they have different capacities. Okay, the capacities are different. The the tolerance achieved is different, okay, for each machines. So some are very costly and precise machines, some are not so costly, but they are grouped into a cell. Okay, that's why we're calling it a cell. So it could be based out of a process, that's, let's say, grinding, okay, or milling, a group of machines dedicated for milling, right? So all of that you'll have in one cell. So any part that has to be uh, undergone milling, okay, that has to undergo milling as a process, then you'll send it to that cell, that flexible manufacturing cell, FMC. Okay, so that and depends on the type of tolerance, the level of tolerance required, the precision, uh, and the size of the product also, you will send it to different a particular machine in that cell, right? Because as I said, those cells are having machines of different capacities. So you can send it to any, I mean, uh, as and when, I mean, as written by the instructions, you'll send it to that dedicated machine, right? So it could be a cell based out of a process, that say milling, grinding, turning, etc. It could be either of a feature, okay, that a cell dedicated only for processing cylindrical parts, okay, or prismatic parts, like that. So based out of different classifications, you can classify these, you can make up these manufacturing cells, FMCs. Okay, was that clear? FMCs and FMS. Okay, and also allow production lines to use 24/7 machining strategies. So you have this 24/7, okay, that's another benefit, that because you have automated the process, like the whole setup, okay, right from automated material handling, tool changing, and even the processing, right, because of the CNCs. So you can now use it for 24/7, right? That's the benefit that you get, that you are able to increase the production time, the productive time, okay. So the machines will run 24/7, okay. That's another benefit. When you have automated, you can make use of that. Only when you have automated, you can make use of the 24/7. Otherwise, humans would be required, right, as and when issues come up, or to change the part, to change the tooling, right, or even for storage and etc. So that capability is one of the major capabilities that you have when it comes to FMS. Ensures that companies can meet the challenges of high mix, low volume production. So that is another benefit, that as we discussed, in rigid automation, the production was high. We were able to mass produce, okay, a product, but the mix or the variety was very low, isn't it? As we said, to accommodate product variety is very difficult in rigid or hard automation, as we call it. So this is the exact opposite of it, that you have a high mixture of parts that you want to produce for a low volume, okay. Depends, 10 products, 20 products, 50 products, 100 products. So but the mixture is high, the variety that you have in those parts is very high, okay. 10 components have some design features, another 10 components have a totally different set of design features, okay. So the mixture is there, high mixture and low volume production, but they are to be produced to a very less number, okay. Doing so helps them utilize available resources like space and manpower more effectively. So how do you achieve that challenge? You also have to look at the space requirements that you're getting, with the minimum space, with the minimal space that you have, you should be able to achieve the best optimal utilization, as we call it, right? Optimal utilization of space and manpower also, right? So that no labor is idle and no machines are idle, okay. You're trying to maximize the productive time. So that capability. Another thing is reduces non-productive hours when a machine needs to be loaded with a new part or material, as I said. So when a machine is to be loaded with a new part or material, that we are calling it as non-productive time, right? Because that does not yield as we're not getting some value out of it, right? Although that is in process, right, that you are setting up the part or tool so that you can perform the process, but performing the process actually is the productive time that we have. That's what is the productive time that we count. So rest all the setup of tool and workpiece, right? Even the the time it takes to store the material and bring it back to the machine, all this counts as non-productive time, right? Doubts? Okay. No. Okay. So features of flexible CNC manufacturing systems with automated solutions. So now we'll see. Okay, we'll see how this FMS system performs. Okay, because we have this computer control of machine tools also to be discussed. That is why I'm not showing a video. Okay, otherwise we'll see a dedicated video how this flexible automation is achieved. But you get the concept, right? That we have a set of machines with automated material handling, and it could be even inspection also. Inspection also could be included. So all of that will make up a flexible manufacturing system. Okay, so we'll see the features of flexible CNC manufacturing systems with automated solutions. So CNC machine tool interchangeability and flexibility. So the manufacturing system should allow for either the workpieces or tools to be flexibly interchanged, right? As I said, the workpieces or even the tools, right? And we'll see in the next point that to be able to change those tools, you have to have a tool magazine, right? As we discussed in the last class, automatic tool changer, ATC is what we call it. So this interchangeability and flexibility is only there when you have this automatic changing of the tool. And for that to be achieved, you have to have a set of tools right beside the machine, right? As we saw yesterday, that the whole, what do you call that, drum type of setup was there, right? So that will have the tools. So it depends, 10 tools, 20 tools, depends on the size of the machine, but you'll have a set of tools with you that you're calling it a tool magazine. Okay, so interchangeability and flexibility, right? That automatic workpiece changer also, okay, to allow for different tools located within the machines to work on their various parts. Consistent and repeatable machining processes, ability to achieve consistent and repeatable production, right? So consistency, we have already seen, right? Consistency in the sense that you should be able to produce uh, parts of, like the part should be same, right? Based out of I mean, whether it is dimensions or the tolerances, etc., have to be consistent and repeatable production. So can be adjusted to better handle variations in high mix, low volume productions, modifications in process sequence, production volume changes, design changes, etc. So this type of you see, uh, the companies which are catering to other companies, okay, that for example you have an automobile company that wants a type of bolt, okay, one type of bolt. There are four types of bolt, let's say. They want one type of bolt, okay, and instead of having to manufacture it in house, okay, like in their company, what they will do is they will outsource it to some other company, and that company has the whole setup, okay, the whole system, different machines, etc., those that are required to produce that bolt, okay, that special bolt. So our machine, a company that we're talking about that can manufacture this bolt. Okay, this company can manufacture bolts of different kinds. Let's say 10 different bolt designs can be made. So all these other companies, right, let's say A, B, C, D, E, F, etc., all these companies require a different type of bolt. So time and again they will give different orders. Let's say after 2 months they said we want 50 components of this bolt. Okay, of this bolt design, for example, A. So after 3 months they may say we want only 20. So this kind of variation is there, this kind of design change is also there. Okay, they might also want to update the design. Okay, they will give out the design, they will give out the documents to that, to our company, right, our bolt company, and they will ask them to manufacture this. So our company, the bolt company, should be able to accommodate those changes, right? So not only accommodate those changes, but to be able to do that within uh, a minimum amount of time. Okay, the as early as possible. So that flexibility, to have that flexibility, you have to have a system that can accommodate those changes, right? All these changes, right? The reason why I wrote is modification in process sequence also, that they might say that you have to perform process 1 and then process 2 and then process 3. Earlier it was the opposite, let's say. So even in process sequence, okay, the way that you are performing it, processes are same but the sequence have changed, because they found that this is giving some better, what do you call, this is decreasing that production time, let's say, or is yielding some other benefit. So to be able to do that, accommodate those changes in the process sequence, in the production volume changes, as I said, they might want some number of components now, and some other number of elements some point of time, design changes, etc. So that flexibility has to be there and should be consistent and repeatable, right? Flexible management of tool and fixture settings. So even the tool and fixture settings, owing to the greater modularity, flexible and interchangeable tooling and fixtures can be set ahead of actual production. So modularity is there, right? That we can attach. I told you, right, what is a modular system. A modular system is that which can, which is a system by itself, okay, which can be attached to a system, right? That it can be attached to any system, right? It has that capability that you can attach it to some system, work there, and then remove it for it to be attached to some other system. So modular units. So owing to the greater modularity, flexible and interchangeable tooling and fixtures can be set. So tooling, also the fixture setups. Okay, that, let's say, as I said, the product design has changed, so the fixture will also change, isn't it? Because fixtures are designed based out of the product only, based out of the features in the product, the fixtures will be designed. So the part has changed, the fixture will also change, also the tooling. So how will you accommodate that? Only when you have interchangeable setup, right? That you can change the tooling and fixture as required. So you see how custom engineered the system should be to accommodate these changes, both the tooling, fixture, and the design changes. So we are making it modular for that reason, right? Effective tool preparation is an important discipline in an FMS. Doing us allows us to organize the various fixtures with new raw material or parts in a timely, systematic, and problem-free manner. Timely allocation of fixtures, new material, or parts avoids downtime, right? Because you see, for you to be able to provide that modular tooling or fixture setup, you have to have it ready, right? Effective tool preparation is, that is why we are saying it's an important discipline in FMS. So you have to have that ready. You have to have many units of them so that you can supply it to different machine tools, right? So doing as allows us to organize the various fixtures with new raw material or parts in a timely, systematic, and problem-free manner, right? As and when required, and it should be systematic. So that can be done within So that's avoids downtime because you are able to provide it on time. So it'll not be like you need a fixture setup for a particular product, right? And that is not ready. Okay, so have to have uh, that preparation of the fixture, etc., so that you can timely allocate it, right? Is that clear? Okay. Then common programming standards. So you see, use of standardized available software ensures interoperability. You see interoperability in the sense that it should be easy to use by both engineers and operators, right? So engineers and operators can access or share the same files. So there should be ease of operations. So how do you do that? You can do that when you have a standardized programming standard. Like programming standards are there. Okay, so that and having standard operating parameters and coding procedures ensures that the same tools can be used in the same way to produce repeatable units results. This also means that you should know the range of tools available and keep them in larger magazines in your machines, right? So standard operating parameters, coding procedures ensures that the same tools can be used, right? When you have the parameters standard, you have the procedure as standard, so a same tool can be used, right? Otherwise you'll require a different tool. So that confusion would be there in between the engineers and operators if you don't have this standardized. Okay, so standard software that has the standard operating parameters and coding procedures will ensure this that we get repeatability also. So this also means that you should know the range of tools available and keep them in larger magazines in your machine. So the tool should be available as we were discussing in the last point, and also keep them in larger magazines in your machines. So the magazine should be large. But another point is, if you have a larger magazine, okay, if you have it too large, then the problem would be that some tool may not be required, that for a period of time it will not be required. So it will not be under what do you call diagnostic, right? That you will not be able to check that tool. You will not check that tool, and if at all that tool, if you are using, so basically you have to, that diagnostic time, the preventive maintenance time will increase if you have more number of tools, right? So it's not like you have to have the maximum amount of tools that you can have. No, there should be optimal tools available, right? So that you will not have these problems that you have to periodically check it, right? And if at all you don't, then you'll have problems that either in the dimensional accuracy, I mean in the context of dimensional accuracy, or even the tool life will not be monitored, right? So all of those problems will be there. Preventive maintenance and scalability. So preventive maintenance programs helps ensure smooth production, isn't it? So clean, replenish and replace. So that's one strategy. You can enjoy more savings than the initial cost of your machines by ensuring their long-term productivity and accuracy. So cleaning of the systems, right? Replenish as and when parts are what do you call, uh, have either gone out of tool life, right, or either faulty. So you replenish them, fill them up with some other tool, right? Replace also. So all these will ensure more savings, right? Although this is saying that the initial cost of your machine is high, but the long term productivity and accuracy will be there if you maintain the preventive maintenance. Another thing is scalability, the ability to expand a manufacturing system to accommodate new product or product design changes, right? So expansion capability, right? The ability to expand. And this is another feature in FMS, that As for rigid automation, you were not able to do it. Programmable automation, you were able to do it, but only in the context of what do you call for a dedicated machine, right? That you are able to program uh, different design features into the same machine. But here, what we are talking about is to expand the system itself. That you have to have more, that you want to have more number of machines, right, in the cell or in the system, flexible manufacturing system. So to the ability to add up more tools, right, more tools in the sense both processing and in assembly and inspection, washing, etc. So both in terms of the product that you are able, that you want to have more products being produced, or more design features being produced, that you want to cater to a more, cater to a product that has more design features. Okay, so as and when the features are required, right, for certain products, that can be done. It should not be like just for one feature. Okay, let's say there is one feature that you do not have in your manufacturing facility, that you cannot process in the whole of your machines. I mean, in your complete setup, you cannot do that. So if you can arrange a machine that can do that, then you are able to accept that order, right? So production orders, right? So you can take those orders. So that flexibility, okay, is there when you can expand the system, right? And that is there in when we are talking about flexible automation. So not only accept more and new orders, but handle a wide variety of orders, right? Not just new and more, as in like let's say I've added 10 more machines and I can now process more parts, so more units being produced over time. Not just that, but also wide variety of orders, right? An order that has a set, a product that has a different set of features, okay, you can do that. So not only more orders, but also wide variety of orders. Do you get what I'm trying to say by wide variety of orders? Oh, sorry. Okay, so those were the features. And now coming to numerical control. Okay, we discussed CNC technology, right? And I told you that the CNC technology uh, comes from, I mean, the roots of it comes from the numerical control technology. So NC technology was the first technology that we were using. Okay, and the different branches